I have an update on the trophy wife and what she's doing, what's been going around, and what people have been saying about her as well. And there is a lot to be said. There's been videos of her trending where people are accusing her for knowing and saying that she's guilty based off these videos.
I understand it being hard because I stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle of that, definitely. But you know, there's that saying, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true. So it's just all about whenever you have the courage to do that. Sorry if my house is noisy in the background. I don't know how much you all can hear, but there's so many of us that it's just like that. So if you hear stuff in the background, just act like you don't.
My baby says your video about dating. If you guys can hear my daughter, she's upstairs with my husband being cranky. So I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky, because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk.
Those are the videos that are trending on TikTok, where people are beginning to now analyze the trophy wife's character and where she went wrong and what she did wrong. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it.
I feel like she's grieving her marriage and her account and what her account was built off on, more than the fact that she found out that her husband touched her 2- and 4-year-old daughters. She did not do a background check because she was desperate enough to get with this man, running from her last relationship. He's way older than you. He don't have children. Let me tell you something. I don't even have children, but that's a red flag to begin with. How do you confuse high value, high earning man with a pedo?
But you can see that there's something wrong with her. I constantly study reading people through physical and mental behavior, and today we're going to do a reading on trophy wife. Now, I'm glad her kid is okay, and I'm glad that she was able to get her kid out of the situation. But just a few things. If you look into her eyes, the distant stare-offs that she do constantly, that's a sign of disconnection. Either being delusional or you're desensitized to a lot of things. When she's telling the story, she's constantly looking off to the side like this, like this, like this, like this. That is a sign that you're trying to recall something and leave out details. When she is crying, this is a cry of sorrow. But there's no anger, there's no hatred. And during the middle of all of this, she's referring to the guy as her husband. Once again, red flag. Now, these are real tears. Now, as her kid is screaming out in this video, she doesn't even budge. Not even a movement. She even states, hey, look, when you hear noises, you just gotta close your ears. That means she heard something that wasn't right, and she just pushed it away. This isn't her kid screaming out one time, but multiple. It seems like she's desensitized to the whole thing. She stated that her husband R-worded her multiple times, so she ignored her own situation. When you're somebody who is desperate for survival, understand that your mind will literally block out trauma. This is not intentional. This literally is a mental protection to keep yourself from breaking down. And it seems like when they started going through the divorce, and that means the money is changing, that means you're not getting paid off anymore. Rose-colored glasses then turn black. But the biggest red flag is that the moment this happens to your kid, you're on the internet monetizing your kid's pain. You're worried about how you're going to rebrand yourself, make money, and your kid is actively suffering. You shouldn't have time for the internet. The only victim here is the kid.
Look, the whole situation with the new trophy wife, she is just as guilty as the husband is. As a woman and as a mother, you are supposed to make decisions that are best for your children. Not for you, but for your children. What that man did to those children is disgusting, okay? It is disgusting. But guess what? She should have moved differently. I'm trying to understand how you break up with one man and within a week,
You are married to a man you know nothing about, and you move into his home with your 2 boys. You then proceed to have 2 more children with him, 2 little girls at that. You go on this whole trophy wife thing, giving women advice and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, it was all BS. Then you get on social media and you start crying, crocodile tears, and then you're talking about the direction in which your platform is going to go after this situation. Wait, so you're telling me that you're worried about a platform and you're not worried about putting that man behind bars? This is what happens when women center men. This is what happens when women are so obsessed with portraying an image on social media that is outside of their actual life. There is definitely more to this entire story, but the way that she's moving is extremely questionable.
Why isn't the trophy wife and her husband locked up? See, I know that women can be victims. I absolutely know that women can be victims to DV. I know they can be victims to abuse. But the moment I've heard this live, like I heard a clip of a live, one of the girls was in the background screaming and saying ouch or stop or something, and you didn't stop your video, stop yourself from recording and go check on your child. See, this is what I don't get about people in general, right? The dad is the monster. We know he's the monster. But the mom literally putting her girls on a silver platter is more of a monster. You have 2 little girls. I have a daughter. At those ages, we're cleaning their noonie. We're bathing them. We're giving them a bath. We getting them dressed for school. We see their privates too much for you not to have seen anything. For you not to have seen anything on either one of your girls. It just says you turned the blind eye. You probably hoped that he was going to either grow out of it or stop doing it to your girls, whatever the case may be. But you saw that. So you being a victim is one thing. But the minute that trickled down to your girls not being protected by you became the villain.
Trophy wife also has responded to everyone about their accusations about her marriage and how she met her husband. She posted this on her community post on YouTube. I'm so tired of misinformation. My daughters are his biological children. This could have happened to anyone. I disagree, but moving on. Also, I knew this man for a 6-month period before I became his wife. Yes, I ran a background check. I'm not stupid enough to date online without one. He had no prior charges other than some speeding tickets. I saw every speeding he ever had before. I agreed to go on a first date. My dating profile said I had no children. I never married for money. I married because he pretended to have all the same values as me. I married to build a family on a solid foundation. He never showed signs of being a pedophile. But yes, I'll take the blame. There's also another content creator whom has 2 daughters by her husband. Their biological father, would she also be dumb pygmisha if her husband did the same to their daughters, Shame on you, shame on you. It was a mouthful that she said. But a lot of things that she did say, I just completely disagree with. Once again, no accountability is being taken, which is why it's making a lot of other people become skeptical of what was actually your true intentions when she chose to actually put this all online for everyone to speak about, for everyone to know. She even deleted all her videos. What are you hiding? It really does give that you're guilty of something. This would have never happened to anyone. And which is why it's such a topic to speak about, as this doesn't usually just happen. There are things that should have been done to prevent this. And if she really did the checkups that she should have done, then it would have been spoken about on her video. She would have never made it such a highlight that she got married in less than a year and in 1 week. She's been posting on her community posts once again, and she's just saying a lot. I'm just gonna quickly skim through it and just point out some things that really stood out to me. But if you guys do want to read the rest, you can read it here or on her YouTube page, as it's all there as well. If I need to be bullied, lied on, discredited, and whatever else to bring awareness and put attention on this man's crimes, then so be it. What I don't get is, what does that have to do with us? Now, I know I'm also making a video about it, but everyone is, right? But the question still is, why do you need to put attention on his crime? Isn't that something you're supposed to do with the police? Isn't that something you're supposed to do in private? I don't understand. Why does the world need to know? Why does 2.3 million people need to know about your business and your children's business? All those calling me a liar will eat their words. It's sick to see those who have so much negative things to say about me and barely anything to say about the monster who has committed these acts against his own children. This is a typical female. I hate to say it, especially when it comes to a predicament like this. Everyone knows he's a monster. We don't need to talk about what is already obvious. The whole topic is, how did you as a single mom find yourself here? How did you find yourself here? With a man that you barely knew. I'm not buying anything else that you knew him, or your thumbnail would have never been married in 1 week. The criminal investigation, so she just talks about how she's filed a protective order against him, but was told she couldn't because the state must do it. So, all about the law and whatnot. To me, what it sounds like is she is more focused on what the internet has to say about her life, as she has essentially sold a lie, and now she wants to keep an audience for a new life that she wants to build. She still wants to be online. She doesn't want to protect those daughters. She doesn't want to actually deal with the reality. In reality, she still wants to live a social media lifestyle. She still wants to be a content creator. She still wants to do her podcast, but she can't do it based off her marriage. So she's trying to alleviate herself from it and try again. And that's why we're all in her business, because she wants us in her business. For all who pretended that I knew this was happening, it's completely untrue, sick assumptions. I'm guessing she's talking about the niece that we're also going to get into, as she said a lot and I didn't cover it because it was just about all she said, he said, but we're just going to watch like a snippet of it. And thank you immensely to those whom donated to GoFundMe. Now, this is where I want to talk about in this moment here is she made a GoFundMe page. Now she wants to beg people for money. She's begging her audience for money. Now, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about it. She's monetizing off her daughter's trauma, which I 100% agree. Some people are saying that she's trying to make money because she needs lawyers against this really rich man that she wanted to marry because he was really rich. I mean, you can say it's about the morals and values. Meanwhile, you're listening to Shira 7, who only talks about marrying rich older men. Like, females just need to just admit when they're wrong. And it's hard for her to do that because it blew up all in her face. Now, I am going to read a comment that she made. Thank you for your empathy. This man has done everything to break me, drained the accounts, cut off my cards, cut off the internet in the house, turned off my phone, had the family vehicle stolen. I've had to apply for food stamps. My children and I are struggling. I hate to even feel the need to justify needing help for 5 children after a situation such as this. The man didn't break you. He did break those daughters, but he didn't break you. What he did, was it messed up? Yes. What he did was completely negative? Yes. In so many ways, everything about what he did was messed up. But no one broke you except for you. You arrived broken, which is how you found yourself in this predicament. You was already broken when you decided to have children at 17 years old and became a single mom. You was already broken when you was into the thug bad boys and you thought that was what society was telling you to do. You was already broken when you was listening to Shira 7 about how to bag a rich man. I don't understand how you actually thought that you was even a sane person to begin with. You had a lot of issues eternally going on about you that you didn't want to deal with. You overlooked it and wanted to live a rich, hypergamous lifestyle that you monetized off, like you're monetizing off your children, which is why the GoFundMe page is there, which is why she decided to make a video about it. We didn't need to know her business. But we do, because she wants to rebrand herself to continue making the money.
He's touched his little brother, he's touched his 4-year-old sister, and he's touched his 2-year-old sister. But all of this will come out eventually. My uncle cannot say anything right now because the case is still open. But my thing is, you sitting over here saying that he did all of this stuff, but if he did, the police themselves said that he would be in jail. They would have took him to jail as soon as the hospital said, oh my gosh, the baby's been touched. He would have been in booking right away. He wouldn't be out right now working. He wouldn't be out right now being bothered with all of this extra stuff that you're putting on your kids. He's touched his little brother, he's touched his 4-year-old sister, and he's touched his 2-year-old sister. But all of this will come out eventually. My uncle cannot say anything right now because the case is still open. But my thing is, you sitting over here saying that he did all of this stuff, but if he did, the police themselves said that he would be in jail. They would have took him to jail as soon as the hospital said, oh my gosh, the baby's been touched. He would have been in booking right away. He wouldn't be out right now working. He wouldn't be out right now being bothered with all of this extra stuff that you're...
Enough when I heard people are trying to blame my son. I couldn't get on here fast enough. I thought I heard someone who I've never met in my life coming on here trying to blame my son. Someone whom I've never met in my life trying to come on here and blame my son for the sick and disgusting things that my daughter's father was doing. This is not a game. This is not a game. How dare you? How dare you blame this on an innocent child? You talk about you got proof? You have proof? I've got proof right here. Right here. Show me your paperwork. Show me your paperwork. You talk about I am saying something different than when I was in court. Honey, you weren't even there. Seeing you in my life. It's not very good. Oh my gosh. Y'all want to see my protective order? Y'all want to see my protective order? Right here. I'm going to cover my daughter's name. In the case of a vulnerable adult and a minor child, a relative, there is a preponderance of the evidence to believe that the respondent committed the following acts of abuse. Statutory abuse of a child. R word or a statutory S offense. Father has been coming into two-year-old and 4-year-old daughter's rooms and SAing them. This is from the judge. There's the case number. It matches the records. There's the proof. I'm done. That's all. I'm done.
Now, that's the video of the niece really actually accusing the trophy wife's son of essaying her daughters. And I didn't really have much to say about it because there was actually no proof. It was almost like a he said, she said, but one thing that was consistent and is not the best thing to say, but I did realize it, is those daughters definitely were harmed because no one denied it. And how I see it is something did happen to them. But what's actually happening now is their trauma is now being spoken by everyone, including myself. Their trauma is now being monetized by the mother, and she will use every excuse from the moon to the sun to why she shared this and doing it on the internet and everything. It still doesn't change what it is. That's why I would say she is guilty for what she did, not only to herself but to those daughters. It didn't have to come to this. That's why people say she's guilty. That's why people even saying that she may have known what was happening. For someone that watches their children as a hawk in those live videos, you chose to ignore it like it was a background sound. No worry, no questioning about it. All that eternal instinct that you spoke about on your I Married a Monster, it didn't apply in those live stream videos. She's deleting her videos on Instagram and her YouTube. What's that all about? What are you hiding? Is it that people are actually using your own words against you? Is it that people are actually revealing yourself to you? It is sad for those daughters. But the only way we can only make sure this doesn't happen again is we need to see where she went wrong. And she went wrong since 17 years old. And females always think that money is going to solve everything in their life. They think having a high value man is going to solve everything in their life. They think being above average, looking above average is going to solve everything in their life. No, you are only creating problems. And just like she did. So those are the updates that has been circling around social media and people having different things to say about it, what she had to say about it. She even showed some proof because people were asking for it. And we don't know what's going to really happen from here on. Is she going to come back on YouTube? Is she going to stay offline? Which I suggest that she should just come off YouTube and focus on those daughters. But for some people it's really hard because they want the bag. For some people it's really hard because they love the clout. They love it more than their children. So only time will tell. I'm your hostess, Feminine Princess. These are my last thoughts. The trophy wife definitely did take the internet by a storm. So many people had so many different things to say about it. I literally watched it become more than people even know for what it is, but everything that was put out there is the picture that I'm painting, other people are painting. It's not just a bias, it's actually what has been seen and been put out there, and everyone has come to their own opinion about what they think about it, and this is just mine. I think so many things could have been done differently, but that means females need to change the way they approach dating, how they approach marriage. This whole talk about I'm not settling, that means you need to really erase all of that. How many females are willing to do that? So when traumatizing situation happens to them, it's hard to really have empathy for them. The children differently, but for them it's hard because you actually did choose this for the sake of what? A lifestyle? Money? Vanity? Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.